Hello friends, my name is Shanti Dugar. In this video, I will explain the valuation method for equity shares. I will be covering the basic valuation model and also when there is zero dividend growth or constant dividend growth and variable dividend growth, how to value the shares in these scenarios. So let's understand first the basic concept. The basic concept for valuation of any asset, whether it is shares or debentures or bonds or preference shares or whatever asset you buy, the price of that asset is equal to what return you generate from that asset on discounted value basis or the present value of all those future incomes generated from that asset plus what risk you assume for holding that asset. So when you combine the risk and return profile, the value or price is determined for that particular assets. And how do we calculate the return? Return is basically the expected income or future cash flow likely to be received on the said assets on periodical basis over the holding period. So that's the return. And what is the risk? Risk is the chances that the expected income, what we are expecting in future, will not occur, or the future cash flow expected shall not be realized. That is the risk. So in a way we can say that risk is the variability of getting that expected return. And how that variability is captured in the valuation? It is captured through the discounting techniques or calculating the present value of those future incomes stream by discounting it at the required rate of return. So higher the risk, the higher will be the discounting factor and lower will be the price or worth of the asset, all other things being equal. So mathematically we can put the formula, the basic valuation model is like this. C1, which is a cash flow of year 1, is discounted by the 1 plus k raised to power 1, where k is the applicable discounting rate for the investor, or we also call it as the capitalization rate to discount the future cash flow. So first year cash flow income is discounted by 1 plus k raised to power 1. The second year cash flow, which is C2, is discounted by 1 plus k raised to power 2. So like that, we can calculate up to nth period to get the total value of the asset. Now when we can also write the above equation in this fashion, that C1 is the cash flow of year 1 times present value discounting factor of year 1 plus cash flow of year 2 is multiplied by the present value discounting factor for year 2 and so on till the nth period. When the cash flow is an equal amount, let's say the amount of income to be generated from that asset is equal and period of receipt of that income is fixed, the frequency is fixed, that is called annuity. So the C becomes annuity. In that case, this formula can be simply written as C times present value discounting factor for annuity for that particular K, which is the expected rate of return of the investors, and for that nth period. Now let's understand how the valuation of equity shares will be derived using the same methodology of basic valuation model of any asset. So the value of an ordinary equity shares is basically the present value of all future dividends what is likely to get if you hold that shares for infinity. So symbolically we can put it like this. This is dividend for year 1 is discounted by 1 plus ke raised to power 1 plus this dividend for year 2 is discounted by 1 plus ke raised to power 2 and so on till the infinity period, indefinite period. So where ke is the cost of equity or the required rate of return by the equity shareholders. So we will just understand how the ke is calculated in a moment. So ke KE is basically the cost of equity or expected rate of return by the equity shareholders, can be calculated by a mathematical formula called RF, which is the risk-free rate of return, plus beta of that asset times RM, that is the market rate of return, minus the risk-free rate of return. I have explained this concept in more detail in a separate video, so you can refer to that video if you want to understand it in a more detail. So let's understand, when there is zero dividend growth expected, how do we calculate the value of equity? So when there is no dividend growth expected in future, that means whatever is the current dividend D1 remains constant over a period of time for infinite period. In that case, the value of the equity will be D1 times present value discounting factor for annuity for indefinitely period. So since we know that D1 is constant over the whole life, so it becomes like an annuity in perpetuity. So we can simply convert this formula into simple one. Value of equity will be equal to D1 divided by KE, whereas D1 is the dividend per share and KE is the cost of equity or required rate of return by the shareholders. Now, when there is a constant growth expected in dividend, it is called the constant growth model. This was proposed by Gordon. So it is called Gordon's constant growth model, and the formula becomes D0 times 1 plus G raised to power 1, where G is the growth rate expected in the dividend. So this is first year dividend divided by 1 plus KE raised to power 1 plus D0 times 1 plus G raised to power 2. So the numerator is the second year dividend is discounted by 1 plus KE raised to power 2 and so on till the indefinite period. So when we simplify this equation, this algebraic equation, we get this very simple equation called D1 is the numerator divided by KE minus G, where KE is your cost of equity and G is the growth rate expected in dividend, which is constant. Explain now the valuation of equity shares when there is a variable growth in the dividend. So when there is a variable growth in the dividend, basically the growth rate is different in two different periods. So for example, let's say the G1, which is the growth rate for the year 1 to year n, we call it as a first growth period, and G2 is the growth rate from year n plus 1 onwards, which is called as second growth period. So in this case, we have to do the valuation step by step basis. So in the first step, what we do, that we calculate the present value of future dividend considering G1 growth rate till year n. So here this we call it V1, let's say. Then we calculate the value of share at the end of nth year when the G2 growth rate starts. So just before that, what will be the value of shares at that time considering the future dividends from n plus 1 year onwards considering G2 growth rate. So this is basically G2 is a constant growth rate after that. So we can use the formula of constant growth rate model, which will give us the value of the shares at the end of nth period. And then third step is to calculate the present value of this value, which we calculated the share value at the end of nth period. We have to calculate the present value of that in today's terms by discounting it at the required rate of return by the shareholders, and that when we do the discounting, that is called the V2, and simply we can add V1 plus V2 to become the total value of the shares. So symbolically what we can say, step 1 is the D0 times 1 plus G1 raised to power 1. So this is that basically the dividend expected for year 1, and that we discounted by 1 plus KE raised to power 1. So this is the first year dividend discounting. Then we calculate the second year's dividend, which is D0 times 1 plus G1 raised to power 2, and we do the discounting of second year dividend by a factor of 1 plus KE raised to power 2, and like that we do it till n period. The second step, we calculate the value of shares at the end of nth year by using the constant growth model, using the G2 as the new growth rate for the second growth period. So where the formula we saw as dn plus 1. So dn1 plus 1 means this is the dividend expected for the year n plus 1th year, and which is divided by KE, which is the cost of equity, minus the G2 rate. So when we do this, we get the total value of the shares at the end of nth period. And in the third step, we have to calculate the present value of this Vn in today's terms. So which is, we can calculate by Vn divided by 1 plus KE raised to power n. And then we have to simply add V1 plus V2 to get the total value of the shares in today's terms. Let us understand this with a simple example. So let's say a company has paid a dividend of $2 per share at the time of D0, that means last year, and which is expected to grow at 10% for next 5 years. So G1 is 10%, and then 5% thereafter from 6th year onwards. So G2 is 5% for infinity. Now if the cost of equity, that is the KE, or required rate of return by the shareholders, is let's say 12% per annum, then what will be the share value? What should be the share value of such company? So let me explain this. Here we know D0 is equal to 2, and G1, which is the growth rate for the first period, is 10%. G2, which is the growth period for the second period, is 5%, and the expected rate of return by the shareholders is 12%. So first we can calculate the value of first 5 years dividend, present value of that. So we know that first year's dividend will be 2.2, which is derived from the base year dividend of $2 increasing by 10% per annum. So first year dividend will become 2.2 here, which is again increasing by 10% per annum. So it becomes 2.42 for second year, 2.66 for third year, 2.93 for fourth year, and 3.22 for fifth year. And we have to calculate the present value of each of these dividend by using the PVDF factor at 12%. So PVDF, we know the formula is 1 divided by 1 plus R raised to power n. So this is the value comes for each of the PVDF for the each year, year 1 to year 5. And when we multiply the dividend for that year with the respective PVDF, we get the total present value here for each year's dividend payment. So first year becomes 1.96, second year 1.93, like that we get the 5 years present value of dividend, and take a total of that, by which we get the value of our V1, which is the present value of first 5 years dividend. So this is V1. Now the second step is to calculate the value of shares at the end of 5th year based on the future expected dividends from 6th year onwards. So how do we calculate that? The 6th year onwards, the 6th year dividend amount is 3.38. How do we calculate this 3.38? This is basically the 5th year dividend was 3.22, and the expected rate of dividend from 6th year onwards is 5%. So 3.22 times 1.05, that becomes 3.38. So this becomes the numerator, and the denominator will be simply the KE minus G2, because this is now a constant growth model. So from 6th year onwards for infinity, the growth rate is 5%. So it becomes like a constant growth model. So that if we divide 3.38 with KE, which is 12%, minus G2, which is 5%. So KE minus G2 is equal to 7%. So when we divide 3.38 with 7%, we get the total value of 48.32. So this 48.32 should be the share value at the end of 5th year. To convert that value into today's value terms, what we have to do, this becomes Vn. Let's say this is Vn, and this Vn we have to convert in today's value terms by further discounting it at 12%, which is the KE. So when we convert that using the formula Vn divided by 1 plus KE raised to power n, we get the value of our V2. So that value comes to 27.42 as V2. When we add V1 of 9.48 plus V2 of 27.42, we get the total value of 36.89 in today's value terms for this variable growth model of dividend. So this is how the valuation of equity shares is there. I have created separate videos for valuation of preference shares and valuation of bonds and debentures in separate videos. You may refer to that if you want to understand those concepts. And there are more financial management and statistical related topics covered in separate videos. So if you like to understand those, you can refer to my channel. And for more interactive sessions or further explanations, you may contact me directly at this email address dugat.shanti68@gmail.com. Thank you. Bye.